All right, Venkat, all yours now.
Yeah. So guys, yesterday we have gone through what is Java. For today's topic, we are going to learn from variables, identifiers, Java coding standard, Java comment and setup. So let's have a quick revision like what we have learned yesterday. So what is Java? Java is a programming language. So all the program should be defined as objects. So the first uh, founder of Java is under the license of Sun Microsystems, and James Gosling was the team lead for the team. So next, there are three types of Java editions: J2SE, J2EE, J2ME. J2SE stands for Java Standard Applications. J2EE stands for Java Enterprise Editions. J2ME stands for Java Micro Edition. So what are the features of Java? Simple, platform independent, robust, oops, secure, distributed, portable, and dynamic. So environment setup, which you have downloaded yesterday. So JDK, JRE, JVM, our development kit, Java runtime environment, Java virtual machine. So next comes what is the execution flow and where the program should be written and all this. So what is the program structure? Every program needs to have a class and a main method because in the class we'll write our operation, and from the main method the program gets executed. So here comes again the JVM and what are the JVM architecture. So JVM consists of class load of method area where .class file will be stored and all the internal things happen over here. So let's come to data type. So in data type there are two types: reference, primitive data types, and as well as reference data type. So primitive data types: byte, int, short, long, float, double, boolean, character. So these are primitive data types. Now coming to reference data type, string, arrays, and objects are known as reference variables. So till we have completed our session. So now we are going to learn about typecasting in Java. Typecasting refers to the process of converting one data type into another. Like for example, I'll show you with example, then you can understand it properly. There are two types of casting. One is implicit, where a smaller data type is converted into larger data type. Like we have seen yesterday, right? Every data type has its own range. Like for byte, it's -128 to 127, and for I'll show you. Yeah, byte it's -128 to 127. Short, it's -32,768 to 32,767. So each data type has its own range. So we can also convert our ints, like for example, I'll show you a code. And it's equals to 20. So I can directly assign my variables over here. So first I've initiated a variable as in int data type and assigning a value of 120. Then after I've said to my computer that convert this I variable into long, like C, long G. I have taken my variable, then I converted I into long. Then I can use it by using the object name as G. So we'll get in a long format. So now this is in the long format. Well, you can't see, but I'll show you with a valid example right now. So it ranges up to minus 128 to 127, right? Now I'm going to show 130. If we don't keep long, okay, and commenting the line, so it will show me an error. So very soon it's going to be IT. So it's showing me an error. Like byte cannot store 130 because it's not in my range. Now as soon as I remove this, and I'm going to go at G. Okay. Loosely conversion. So loosely conversion is mainly because when we try to assign a byte variable to a long variable, because long needs an L at last place, so we haven't given the L. So while int its range is up to, while int range is up to minus 2.1 billion to 2.1 plus 2.1 billion minus 1. So this could take place by using int to long conversion. It is known as implicit casting. Next, narrowing, also known as explicit casting. When a larger data type is converted into smaller data type. See, this requires casting because there is a risk of data loss. Double D is 9.78. So you can say that. So double D is consider it will end with two digits at the decimal point. So now I want to convert it in. So how this is possible? So I'm going to the program and run this first now. So T is equals to 2. So int I is equals to so int of t. Yeah. So, so I'm going to call my variable object. So let's see. Uh, it's it right. We need to get 2. Yeah, we have got 2. The decimal point has been removed. So let's try keeping 0.50 greater than 0.50. It's control S. Let's see. Okay, that's what I'm showing you. So this doesn't take an whole number. Like it will take the number which you have given over here. It will not count the decimal points also. Variables in Java. Variables are stored. Variables are used to store data that can be used to manipulate throughout the program. Like variables are used to store data where the storage of data happens where it allocates the memory. But variable is a container or memory location that holds data and it has a name, a type, a value. For example, like this is a variable. So it has a data type, it is as storing a value, and for this, the memory allocation will also be happen. So there are different types of variables, local variable, instance of global or non-static variables, class variables, also known as static variables. So coming to local variables. A local variable is declared inside a method, constructor, or a block. Local variables are only accessible within the method, constructor, or block they are declared. So if I declare a method that would be containing any properties, so we can only use that method objects in only that class only. We cannot use it in another class or method or constructor. Local variables are only accessible within the method, constructor, or block. Before using local variables, we have to initialize them. Like we need to assign the value, we need to provide them. If we create a variable within the method, memory will be allocated for the variable when that method is executing. Only when the method is executing, like if we writing the system out print out ln line and we are using the object name in this method, then only the method which is assigned to the object, it will then only stores the memory into JVM and it won't use it all the time because memory allocation, deallocation would happen like that for that one. After that method execution completed, local variable be deleted from the memory. So what is the scope of this local variable? A local variable is accessible within the method, constructor, or block. Lifetime. The lifetime of local variable is the duration of the method construction which is declared. Once the method execution ends, the local variable will get destroyed. It won't, the JVM won't store the method value for when it's not yet executed. So this is the example. So this is a class. So we are going to create a class. So I'm going to create another class. I'll show it in there only. Class is already not created. I'm going to take this out. So first we are going to initialize int number 1 is equals to 5, int number 2 is equals to 10. Then we are going to create a sum. Int n1 is equals to 5, int n2 is equals to 8. That's it. Int total is equals to n1 plus n2. So this is an addition property. Search total. Okay, so we have created a method first. So I haven't seen that. Public void print sum. I'm going to take it. I'm not going to print it over here because we need to print it in main method. So we are going to create the void. Okay. Yeah, print sum. We have created a method name as print sum. So how we can access from there and print it over here. So we can also, like, I'll show you an example that would be better. So after writing a method, I'll execute and show it to you how it gets runs. So I'm creating a method right now, like as a name, example. Sorry, one second, guys. I don't know why is it working in my computer for now. You could try it in your laptop. You could get it like it's showing an error like I've written the correct code only. And check out in your computer and let me know is it working or not. So we are going to move to the next topic, explanation. In the above example, number one and number two are sub
So
numbers.
what was the issue, Venkat? Just want to take a quick look at it.
Yeah, so don't know what happened to this. Why isn't working? I think so. I need to download my extension.
Correct. But have you imported? Do we need?
Yeah,
ex-
yeah, yeah. I got it. Got it. I got it. So,
And why do we even need example?
like we're creating the object method.
Mhm.
So just for my sake, understandable purpose, I have created that.
Okay.
So the problem
Yes.
was that you need to create an object. So you need to create an object with your same class name. So I have taken my class name as first program. I was a little bit confused because here I have seen the example. So I was taking the example class. So this is what whenever you create an object, you need to create it by using the class name. Like it goes your class name, you assign a variable to it, like your own, then new and the class name. So the object will be created. Whenever I press e dot print cell, automatically the sum gets print. Let's check out. Yeah, sum is 13. Okay, so I'll explain the program. So first you need to create a class, then a method with print sum, then comes int n1. I'm assigning n1 as 5, then int n2 as 8. Now I'm taking the total by using plus operator, additional operator. Then I'm printing the statement. For this purpose, I'll let you know. But I can add as many as I want. I'll add a plus, then open double quotes. This is my total sum. So this is going to also get executed. Whenever you need to have a space, you do like this. Space also. So whenever you try to write on your system out.println, try using double quotes and write the information you want to write and a plus symbol. Then after you need to call out what is there over there. What do you initiate? Then if you want to add anything, you can add it also. You can get it. So then I'm writing my main method and creating a new object here with e. Then I'm going to call e dot print sum. So it's better print it. So from here we are directly calling the main our method which is created here. That is local variable explanation. In the above example, number one and number two and some are local variables because they declared inside the print sum method. So what is the scope of the local variable? Only I can use it here only. I cannot use in another class. I'll show you while creating non-static variable and or global variable. So I cannot use this variables from another class. So that's why it is known as local variable. Instance variables or or global variables or non-static variable, whatever you can call this. An instance variable is declared inside a class but outside any method, constructor, or block. These methods are associated with specific object of class. Instance variable can be accessed by all methods available in the class. That's why they are called as global variable. If we create a class, then we create a multiple method. So I've created my object at first method. So I want to use it after using all the method. So it gets executed. So that is known as global variables. Initialization is optional for instance variables. Instance variables are also called as object variables. When we create the object, then only memory will be allocated for the instance variable. If we create an object, it automatically creates a memory for it. Note, if we create two objects, then two times memory will be allocated for instance variable. So if we create two objects, like with an E as one thing and F as one thing, so the memory will be created for both of them. If we do not initialize initial variables, it will be initialized with default value based on data type when the object is created. If we don't initialize anything, like we just keep the semicolon, so every data type has its own default value. So the JVM will allocate the memory as that. Every object will maintain its own type for the instance variable. See, let's come to the scope. Instance variables are accessible by all methods within the class. So check for it. So here we are normally giving the creating the data type and we are not assigning any value over here. So we are going to use a constructor. Public car, we are going to use string model and integer. So we are going to create an instance of it. This dot model is equals to model, this dot year is equals to year. So about this, you don't get confused, guys. We are going to learn more about this in further classes so you can understand this better. So as of now, just focus on the code. Next, I'm creating a method. Display car info system.out.println. I need model and year and writing the model. Like I need like model if it's Toyota, then comma year 2000 year, then after 2002 or 2010, like anything. So I'm going to call the main method. So then after that, I'm creating the instance car one is equals to new car. So I'm initiating Toyota and 2020 model. So I'm going to call the, this method name which has model and year as a print statement from here. Car.1 is equals car.1 is display car information. So the car information will automatically get created. I'm going to assign the variables as like as initiated string and int. String is a sequence of character where I can type a name. So I'm typing Toyota has model, then int year. Its range is up to minus 32,670 67 68 to minus 32,667. So values up to that. So I'm keeping the year as 2020. Then creating an another object car2 is equals to new car. I'm going to now take Honda 2022. Car2 is equals to car2 dot display car information and show it while writing the code. String, yeah. I'm creating a constructor public public car comma then to our class name and we create a constructor. So I'm creating the instance of this dot uh, uh, so don't focus on this keyword right now. You can't understand. In further classes, you will get understand when we go to constructor topic. So now we are going to create the method name. Make void display card. So we are creating a method name as display car information. Then we are creating a print statement like model, what model is our car, and its name. Then comes its year. Yes, we are going to print out which year it is. Alright, we are going to create the name method for this. So there's a shortcut for creating this. If you directly type name, the name statement will get printed. So we are creating an object as program cl equals to new first method. So we are going to initialize it. But what would we keep the name? I would keep allocate. So it's a string. It should be in double quotes. Name t dot comma what year is this with manufacture 2023 model. I'm going to create. I'm going to call it c1 dot method name. I'm going to give my another object as car2. I'm going to assign as assign Mercedes and then here 2025. I'm going to call that c2 dot display car information. So let's check the program that executed and get any errors. See model Twitter. So I need to use this one also. Yeah. Model is Toyota and here is 2023. Model is Mercedes. Here is 2025. So basically we are having two methods, two objects. We are creating two objects and we are creating the method over here. In our local variable, we have created the method at the same place and also created the object at the same place. But coming here, we are using it two times and calling the same method multiple times. Got it? Explanation. In the above example, model and year are instance variable because they are declared within the car. They are declared within the car in the car class, but outside the methods. But I have created the method here, but I have initialized it over in main method. Each object of car will have its own copies of this instance variable. It has its own copies, like car1 has its own, like one illustrator, and its year is 2020. So car2 has its own values. It is Honda and 2022. So coming to the next variable, static variable or class variable. A class variable, also known as a static variable, is declared inside class using the static keyword. When we use a static keyword, then only we can call it as class variable or static variable. These variables are stored among all instances of class and have a single copy that is shared by all objects. So these variables are shared among all instances. So these variables which we assign will be shared among all classes and have single copy that is shared among all objects. They include a single copy, so we can use it in any class. Static variables are class level variables. So it is declared in class. When class is loaded into JVM, then immediately memory will be allocated for static variable. As soon as the code gets into JVM, the class will be loaded, then the memory allocation will happen. Memory will be allocated for static variable once the class is loaded into JVM, which I have said before. All objects of the class will maintain same copy of the static variable. Like there are multiple class, all the classes will directly contain the static variable. Static variable will access using the class name. By using the class name, we can access the static variable. What is the scope? Class variable can be accessed using the class name or through an instance of the class. So it can be accessed by using its class name or its instance of class by creating multiple methods and calling. Lifetime. The lifetime of class variable is tied to the lifetime of the class itself. So what is the lifetime of class? So it's tied to the class lifetime only. So whenever the class get executed, then only the memory allocation takes place, meaning it exists as long as the class is loaded into the memory. For example, public class bank account. So bank account is a class name. So it's static variable or class variable. So I have said you before, is a class variable is declared inside a class using a static keyword. So if we use a static keyword only, the computer understands that this is a static variable, this is a class variable, like static double interest rate is 5%. Next, we are creating instance variables, string account holder, double balance. So we are creating a constructor as bank account and string account number holder and double balance. So we are creating the instance of it. This dot account holder is equals to account holder, this dot balance equals to balance. So we are now going to create a method system without dot println account holder plus account holder, like account holder, then what are we assigning the value that would be printed. So same comes to balance and interest rate also. Interest rate we are going to assign at the last, and we are creating the main method and creating two objects, one as account one and account two. And account one account holder would be alias and the bank balance will be 10,000. Sorry. Bank account. Account number two. New bank account. The name account holder name would be Bob and the account balance would be 1500. So from here I'm calling this, I'm assigning it to the account one dot display account information. I'm assigning to this and account two also same. So bank account dot interest rate is equals to 6%. Changing static variable using class name. So we can use the class name. Class name is bank account. So I'm creating the interest rate. Dot interest rate is 6%. So slash n is used for next line. System dot out dot println after updating interest rate. So it would be changed. So let's write the program. First, 4.0 percentage. Creating instance variable string and and age balance. Now we are going to create a constructor. Okay. We are going to create a dot class name. So now we are creating the instance of quickbooks dot building equals to control this dot balance equals to balance. So we are going to create the method of quick want as display on search. Yes, controller. Next, I'm going to take the balance. Next, rate of interest. Rate of interest. So we have created our method also. Now we are going to create the main method. Now we are going to create the object. Called one equals to numbers program. So I'm giving the name as then balance would be 20,000. Creating another object to account holder name would be and balance would be 10,000. So let's call by using the method name dot display information and account to as soon. So we have done that. We can change the variable class variables. So by using class keyword, so here change static variable using class name. So what is my class name? My first program job. I'm going to change the rate of interest. of interest would be 6%. So this line N is used for printing the letters in the next line. The updated rate of trust is. Let's again, we need to call it again because we have changed it, right? Dot display information. We do dot display information. So let's check. Are we getting the name and as well as the yeah. First one, Mohit, bank balance 20,000. Rate of interest is 4%. Name, banker, account holder of 2. Bank balance is 10,000. Rate of interest is 4%. So after the updated rate of interest is name Mohit, balance is 20,000, rate of interest is 6%. Name banker, balance is 10,000, rate of interest is 6%. So here is the output. So explanation. In the above program, rate of interest is a class static variable. It's state by both accounts. So the rate of interest is 4%, but it's state by both the accounts. So we can use in multiple methods, multiple objects also. Changing the static variable by using bank.interest rate, we have changed the 4% interest rate to 6% by using its class name. Next, when to declare variable has static or non-static, there is a confusion. So I've got it what you have said, but I don't know where to use static or non-static. If you want to store different value based on object, like if you want to store different values of integer type, float type, double type, string type, array type, character type, based on object, then you can use instance variable. If you want to store same value for all objects, then use static. If I want to have string, so I want to use it as same. I need to use it as my like 4 to 5 methods. So then go to non-static. Then go to static. So variable declaration and initialization. So this is easy. I'll explain you over here. We are going to create a class as example. Then we write in main method. So we are giving the entire page. Like we have not declared the variable yet, but after that we are going to use the object name and we are going to assign the value over here. Age is equals to 25. So the age would be printed as 25. So we're not assigning over there, we are assigning at the next line. Alternatively, you can declare an initial is available in a single statement also, like int age is equals to 25. That would be fine, or this could be fine. Check this out. So this could be also fine. Int age is equals to 25, and also you will get the output. So coming to final variable is the constant. Like I'll show you with example. It would be more clear. In the method. So I'm going to use final keyword. Here would be double t is equals to 0 until the constant I value is equals to 3.14 and 159. So this is constant number which cannot be changed. Right? If I try to modify this, yeah, This is French time. And into this project showing click. So we cannot replace because it's a final keyword. So final keyword is used when we when we declare a constant variable or it need not to be changed. Or in that case, we are going to use final keyword. So the output would be pi is equal to 3.1. Like explanation of this example, pi is a constant variable, final variable, and cannot be changed if it once initialized. Next, variable naming convention. In Java, like it's a reading part and reading part and present it out. In Java, variable names must follow certain naming convention, starting with letter A to Z in small or all capital or underscore or dollar sign. Subsequent characters can include letters, digit 0 to 9, underscores, or dollar sign. One would be camel case. Variable should be written in camel case. Example, user age. Right, age, variable. So this is the correct way for initializing a variable. Cannot be a Java keyword like in public class because it would be predefined class, predefined keyword. So we couldn't take any Java predefined as our variable name. Use descriptive name that indicate the purpose of a variable. But use the so related variable name as so in pages 25. This makes sense because if you're not any other developer comes as your role, so he gets to know like this is used for age, this is used for this. We use that for camel case, like summary. So there is no need of getting this up just next coming to identifiers in Java. An identifier is simple, a name given to variable, function, method, class, array, or any other user-defined item in Java. Identifiers are used to differentiate between variables better than classes. For example, int age is there. So age is an identifier. String name, then name is an identifier. Names rules of naming identifiers. Java has strict rules for naming identifiers must be followed when define them. Start with a letter, underscore, or dollar sign. So name, example name or value or temp, like we can create the variable name as this format. We cannot use anything like number or anything. We can only use underscore, dollar symbol, or directly starting with the letter. Like subsequent characters. After the first character, an identifier can contain any alphabet, digits 0 to 9. After starting a character only, we cannot use it in the middle, or dollar signs or underscores. Example, name 1, value 3, 10. No keyword, Java keywords. Reserved keywords like int, class, public, if, etc. should not be used because they are predefined characters. Excuse me. No spaces. Identifier cannot contain spaces between the characters. Like I'm showing you. So it doesn't make any sense. Like the JVM fails by shows that but you're assigning two variables for a single value. So that would not make sense. Case sensitivity. Java is case sensitive, meaning that variable and variable are all considered as distinct identifiers. This variable and this variable, like starting with a capital letter and with total capital letters, these both are known as different. First name is different from first name. Length. There is no specific limit for the identifier. However, you can put it how long as you want. So coming to example, maximum length of identifier. This is valid, but it's too long and not ideal. So there is no rule of keeping the length in short or long. Depending upon your requirement, you can change it. Variable. They are used to store values. Variables can be of any data type, such as int, string, boolean, any data type methods. So this all we have gone through. Now I'm doing it again. Methods define actions or behavior that can be performed by an object or data. This name is an identifier. Method name is an identifier. Public void display information is an identifier. Display information is an identifier for this method. Classes. Identifier means like it has some identity, like what is its role, what does it do, that kind of. With classes. Classes is a blueprint of object. The name of classes is also an identifier. Example, class personnel, where personnel is an identifier. Next, object. Objects are instance of classes. The name of an object is also an identifier. Person, person one, new person. Person one is an identifier. Interfaces. Interfaces are similar to classes but can only contain letter signature and constants. The name of an interface is also an identifier. Interface, drawable shape. We are going to learn interface in OOPS concept. Where drawable as an identifier. Packages. Packages are used to relate group of classes and interface. Like if we write a function. So this is a package. If I create multiple classes over in this package, all will be stored in this single package com.itnum.a package. So here comes Java coding standards, naming conventions, classes and interface. Class and interface name should start with the uppercase and use Pascal key, also known as upper camel case, where first letter and each letter is capitalized. Where the new word should be capital. Variables and methods. Variables and methods should start with lowercase and use camel case. Where the first word is lowercase and each subsequent starts with a uppercase because for this is not a mandatory rule. This is just for our understandable purpose. That's it. Constant. Constant should often be replaced with final keyword, which is written in uppercase and with an underscore. Next, packages. When package name is in lowercase, and if a package name consists of multiple words, then the words are usually separated with dot. So I have created three words dot dot. I have separated with two dots. Next, com package com dot example dot utilities. Example of valid and invalid identifier. Page. It is a valid string first string. This is also valid. This is valid and this is valid invalid. First string because it shouldn't start with a number at starting, but it can end with a number. Class. It is a reserved keyword which is Java already provides. So it doesn't we cannot take a space between each other. So we cannot start with a hash because it is a special character. It doesn't allow best practices for naming convention. Be descriptive, like think according to it and create a perfect name for your variable. Next, proper case. Use proper case convention. Camel case for variables and method. Pascal case for classes and interface. For better readability, avoid using reserved keywords like I have said it before. Also, use singular nouns for variables unless the variable is an array, like student name, student's name, bad example. Be consistent. Maintain consistency in naming convention across the code database. For example, if you start using camel case for variable name, continue using it throughout the project because everyone can understand it. So I have already set you the comments in Java, like how can, so I don't want to execute. This is known as double comment. This is known as star comment. Once again, this is known as star comment. This is known as single line comment. Okay, single line comment is used to write the code. Single line comment is used to write a short explanation of note on a single line. Check this out. Single line comment. Okay, double line. This is multi-line comment. This is used for multi-line comment, and this is documentation comment. This is used for documentation comment. This is only for understandable purpose, like what we're going. Like for now, we don't need this because we are not going to build projects, right? We are working in a company, then we used to create this. Java reserved keywords. What are the reserved keywords? They have Java consists of total of 53 keywords, where 50 are keywords and 3 are literals. So we are going to go through this. Check this out. Access modifiers. So comes first. So there are 3 types of access modifiers: public, private, and protected. Next, class and interface method. There would be class like abstract class, final method, static method, synchronized, native, strict FP, transist, void. This will going to learn in further classes. Classes, class, interface, enum, extends, implement. These all are the Java keywords. There would be 50 of Java keywords and total 3 of literals. Literals, true, false, and null. True is false are used for Boolean values, and null is used for when you assign an empty array. So till now, this is the part we are going to learn tomorrow. Hello, Patrick. So, hello, hello, hello. Just going to go through what we have learned today. So we have learned about variables. Variables of 3 types: static, instance, and class variables. Next, identifiers, where you can identify by using the camel case, Pascal case, lower uppercase, and etc. Java coding standard naming conventions, Java comment single line, multi-line, and documentation, and reserved keywords. There would be 50 of reserved keywords, 50 are Java predefined, and 3 are literals. So these are kind of
Hi, Venkat. Sorry, are you done?
yeah, certain. So
All right, then let's end the session. Thank you, Venkat. See you later.
yeah, thank you. So the small notes.
Can we take it offline?
Yeah, we can take it offline, so we can stop recording.